So I got these ham hocks. Been deciding what to do with them. So we're gonna put a little olive oil in the pan, and one of them I took the skin off, and the rest of them I got the skin on. Go ahead and I kind of want to see which way I like better when I cook them. So I'll go ahead and get a little brown on them. So let me go ahead and get them all in the pan. Alright, as you can see, we got a nice little brown starting on them. I tried to brown as much of it as I could. I browned both of the bottom and the top, the sides. The one without the skin browned the best. But yeah, so that's it. I'll show you the next step. I got my crock pot on high, and this is about a tablespoon or so of minced garlic. I got about a half a cup of some diced bell pepper. I got one sliced onion. I got 2 stalks of carrot that I diced up. There's some yellow squash that I had. It's about half of one. Didn't want to do something with it, so I figured I'd just use this for it. Got 1 tablespoon of some Cajun seasoning. And we also got 2 slices of bacon that I diced up. And we also got, this is about 1/4 of a head of cabbage. When I made my cabbage rolls, I had some left over, so I'm going to leave them kind of big. Put that in there. Here's our ham hocks. Go ahead and put those in there. I'll do 3 of them. And a good thing about a crock pot is you can cook this while you sleep. Got a 1 quart of some beef broth. Beef stock would work. Chicken stock, chicken broth, whatever you got. I'm using beef broth. This is what I got. I'm going to go ahead and dump that in there. Trying to think what else I want to put in here. Thyme always goes good with pork, so I think that's going to be my primary spice. I'm going to put a little bit of dried thyme in there. I think that'll give it a real good flavor. If you don't want to put it, don't put it. But I like it, so it's very good. And I'm using the ones that's kind of coarse, not the real fine one. And last but not least, I'm gonna go ahead and put some ground black pepper in it. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and cover it, and I'll be getting up in about 6 hours for work, so I'll check it then. Should be good overnight. Shouldn't have to add any more water to it. So there you go. Once you got it all the way you want it, in the morning, if I got to add more salt to it, I will. So far, I didn't put much salt in it. Only a tablespoon of the Cajun seasoning. So that's pretty much it. We'll let it roll. Okay, it was exactly 8 hours since I put these on, and they are pretty much done. I mean, they're falling apart, so I'm trying to be careful so they can kind of maintain their shape. Oh, that one fell apart. Ooh, that's gonna be good for lunch. Look at that, huh? So I'm taking the meat out first, and then I'm degrease my sauce. That way, you know, you don't have just a big pot of grease. I try to get as much grease out as I can. I did add some little baby, some button mushrooms in there, so it's gonna be a nice little gravy. And before I degrease it, I went ahead and tasted it. Need to add a little extra salt to it. Didn't quite have enough, and that's really all I'm gonna put in it. It does have a little bit of spice to it, so it just needs a little salt. And that's pretty much it. So I got cabbage in there. I got my yellow squash. I got my onion, bell pepper, celery. I got my mushrooms. It's gonna be very good. And pretty simple on degreasing the sauce. First, we got to separate all the vegetables and whatnot from it. So I'm gonna just kind of pour it through my little strainer here. So let me get everything poured in. That way it can start to separate. All right, here's our vegetables. Go ahead and put that in our pot for later. All right, at this point we'll go ahead and degrease the sauce. And using my little degreasing pitcher here. I'll probably have to do it in two times, you know, because I ain't gonna my pitcher's not quite big enough to do the whole thing. And we'll just kind of put the pitcher on a plate, that way it doesn't make too much of a mess on my countertop. And I'm gonna get it filled up, and I'm gonna just let it sit about 10 minutes, and the grease is gonna separate. Then I can pour off the grease. So I'm gonna have way too much gravy. It made a lot of juice, and as you can see in my grease pitcher, you can see the line where the grease separated. So when you pour it, you basically just pour it, and the grease stays in the pitcher. And I'm not going to use all this. This is, like I said, it made a lot of gravy. And that's pretty much it. I just transferred it to a different pot to make serving it easier. And like I said, I cooked it overnight. It's still morning time. So once you get your gravy degreased, you can kind of check it again for see if you need to add anything to it. Sauce good. I think I'm done adding spices to it. And yeah, so that if you wanted to thicken it, add some cornstarch. Just with the gravy, get the gravy thick, and then pour it on top of the vegetables. All right, so I think we're done. So my ham hocks are kind of falling apart on me here, but go ahead and add them back to our pan. And at this point, everything's done. This will be for lunch today. Can't get much easier than that. Didn't have to do nothing to it. Just had to let it cook while I was sleeping. So everything's done. And like I said, it's falling off the bone tender now. So that's it. And the crock pot is such a wonderful kitchen item to have. I mean, it cooks everything so tender. I mean, the meat's just falling. I mean, you can just flake it off with a fork. But something simple. If you've got a lot of leftover vegetables you're not real sure what to do with, and some very tough cuts of meat, you can make a nice little smothered down pork hocks. And I'm gonna just have this just like this, probably with no rice. So I got my meat and vegetables all in one pot. Well, let's give it a taste and see what we got. That is delicious. Like I said, and I degreased the sauce. And I got probably another quart of sauce that I may keep. I may make something else with it, kind of like a nice thick stock, you know. But yeah, I mean it's tender, very tender. Like I said, everything's just basically coming apart at this point. I mean, you can't. I mean, that's just perfect. Look at it, just flakes off. And that meat got a real good taste to it too. Well, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed my video, please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. Thanks.